We have been talking about the role of a DPO under various privacy laws. In this video, we are going to talk about the Taiwanese privacy laws as to how do Taiwanese government look at the role of a DPO in any organization. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you have been watching new content on data privacy on a daily basis. What are the Taiwanese regulations? Personal Data Protection Act PDPA 1995, enacted in 2012 to regulate collection, processing and use of personal information. How is it collected? How is it processed? How is it used? Is it misused? Is it being shared outside? All these things, and especially the definition of what personal data itself is, got started enacting in around 2012 in Taiwan. The key provisions made under the Taiwanese rules were data subjects and consent requirement. So what are the rights of a data subject and the need to have a consent from the data subject. The breach notifications, which are mandatory again in Taiwan, and the penalties around 2 million Taiwanese currencies, which is equivalent to 70,000 US dollars. These are the kind of penalties that Taiwanese government puts in if you have a breach. And they also started focusing on cross-border data transfer and handling of sensitive personal information, right? And we've been talking about what personal information and what sensitive personal information is in several other videos on my channel, so you can browse through them. When is a DPO required in Taiwan? Taiwan, again, they also say that we don't mandate it by law, but we say that any organization which processes large amount of data should have a DPO, right? Because he has to mitigate with data protection risk, he has to ensure compliance. You know, organization with a lot of data or processing large amount of data, there is more risk because there are more processes, more people handling personal information. So why not have a person responsible for these things, even if the law does not need. Now that's an individual organizational decision, but ideally if you stand at the risk of giving penalties, paying penalties like this, and that also impacts your market reputation, you would love to have a DPO on board, right? So what's the position of a DPO in the organization? An independent position, internal position. So Taiwanese is not talking about outsourcing DPO function. An internal person who is a DPO. The resources are allocated to him so that he can take care of his task, and he licenses with legal, compliance and IT functions. Legal because that's the law, compliance because privacy itself also a compliance, and IT functions in the sense that because the CIA tried the security of personal information, wrong access, right access, protection, availability is all under IT. So you have to license with IT, right? That's the main thing. His qualification and skill, he should know about law in general, he should know about the local Taiwanese PDPA, its application, where it's applicable, what are the understand what is the risk management, how can he be compliant, and how does he handle incidents, how does he qualify the incidents into breaches, which is very, very important. Breach notification is most important part of the entire privacy system. And strong problem solving and decision making abilities, because you know when there's an incident or a breach, you have to very quickly decide how you're going to minimize the risk that has come up because of the breach, and how do you mitigate the breach so that your data subject does not lose full confidence in you. His core responsibilities include compliance monitoring, making sure that all the processes of the organization are taking care of personal data as per the compliance guidelines, redesign those processes, maybe follow privacy by design concepts as well, create policies, both privacy policy and privacy notices for the organization, take care of the data subject rights, provide proper training, which is very important, cross-functional training, training to your stakeholders, training to your managers, training to your data processing agents, internal or external, training to your junior most people who have any access to any personal information in the organization is very, very essential. And because one piece of information might be used in multiple departments, there would be cross-functional discussion as well, right? And so training is to be imparted, awareness has to be regularly created in the organization for the same. Data breach management is, as I mentioned earlier also, most important function of privacy system. You need to tell the data subjects and the regulators why did it happen, how do you control it, how do you make sure it does not get repeated, and how soon do you inform it to the data subject so that he can take precautions to make sure that his data is safe. If I lose my credit card information, just let me know, I'll at least get my card blocked before it gets misused. So that's about the DPO role under Taiwanese government. I hope you like my content. Please press the bell. Share your feedback on my comment section and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.